What's going on, guys? Fox1225 here with another video, and we got some news about the Elder Scrolls in the upcoming year and all the things we can expect. We actually got a lot of news in one article, so I'm going to share all of that with you, tell you what I think, and that'll pretty much be this episode. So we'll also talk about the Crown Store update and things like that, pretty much everything that's happened in the last week with ESO. But let's move right in and talk about the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood. So I know everyone's excited about this. Me too. We didn't get too much news, but we did get some stuff on the Thieves Guild. So right now the Thieves Guild is going to hit the playtest server early February. So that means I'd guess we're looking at about an early March launch date for the Thieves Guild. But when it comes to early March for the PTS, you're going to be able to play that and test it and gives them extra feedback and, test out all the bugs and make sure it's good for launch. So if that interests you, you can do that early February. If not, you can wait for the actual launch in March. I should mention that when you're playing it on the PTS, it's completely free. So maybe if you don't plan to buy the Thieves Guild, you still get a little taste of it in early February. Other than that, they said that the Thieves Guild is going to introduce some new gameplay elements as well as the story content that is going to come with. Now that's pretty exciting for me, especially because if you guys watched some of the previous episodes, I was a little worried about how the Thieves Guild was going to work with the current gameplay mechanics, especially because in the Thieves Guild, remember, you're not supposed to kill anyone, you're not supposed to steal from the poor. There's all like these rules, and if you can't kill anyone right now in ESO gameplay, it might be pretty boring. So pretty exciting that they're introducing some new gameplay mechanics, hopefully some new stealth stuff, some new stuff to the crime system so stealing is more fun, maybe some infiltration sort of stuff. So really excited to see what the Thieves Guild holds for us, because it's definitely not going to be plain. It's definitely going to be new, fresh, and something that ESO definitely could use, and pretty exciting. Same goes for the Dark Brotherhood. They said that the Dark Brotherhood is also going to bring in some new gameplay elements. Maybe that's going to be more like assassination stuff. Either way, really excited for both these updates. So the Thieves Guild also will fix some core game mechanics and add some little patches, things we usually get with updates. Now the Dark Brotherhood is going to come Q2, which we already knew, and also just a reminder, it's going to be set on the Gold Coast, which is in Cyrodiil, and that's near like Anvil and Kavacha. If you played Oblivion, you should know those locations, and I think it's going to be a nice little throwback to Cyrodiil and to Oblivion, and just kind of going to be a little nostalgic, which should be pretty cool. But moving on, some other things that are going to come this year. We have scrolling combat text, and that's going to come with the Thieves Guild updates. We got character nameplates, and also on the console, instead of displaying your username for the Xbox or the PlayStation, it's going to display your character name, which is really great, especially for role playing, because some people have some pretty stupid gamer handles or whatever you want to say. So now it's going to display your character name, which is kind of nice. Moving on to the long-term things that are going to be coming, later this year, not necessarily in the first half of the year, but a little later on, we got a character customization shop. Now that's like the barber shop people have been talking about and asking for a very long time. You're going to be able to change your gender, your appearance, your name, etc., your hair, what you look like in general. So that's pretty nice if people get bored of their character. Personally, I don't have too much I want to change, maybe like a new beard or something. But if you hate the way your character looks, if you hate the name, you can go ahead and change that. Even change the gender of your character, which is pretty surprising. But you can do all of that when this customization shop hits later in the year. Now another thing coming later in the year is player housing, or at least some news on player housing. They said they're going to have some news for us a little bit later on in the year, probably after the second half. But news on player housing is good because it means player housing is just around the corner, and this is probably one of my most anticipated parts of the Elder Scrolls Online, and I know a lot of people are also very excited about this. So hopefully it's going to be as great as we expect. The way they said this, it sounds like maybe it won't come in as a DLC, but just as part of a patch, which would be really great. And I'm still hoping that player housing is going to be this huge thing where you can customize your houses, build like a compound. That would be really great, and I hope ZeniMax puts that in the game sooner rather than later. But either way, we will get some news and probably get player housing this year in 2016. Other than that, guys, looking for group, the LFG tool is going to be updated and upgraded, and going to make it a lot better, because right now the LFG tool is kind of useless. You really can't find a group, so they're really working hard on fixing that, and hopefully it'll be up and running by the end of the year. Also, something to keep in mind, they did mention that you're going to be able to play with different alliances, at least in dungeons and stuff, so that's something to look forward to. Maybe if you have a buddy who plays on the Altmeri Dominion and you play with the Ebonheart Pact, in some shape or form you guys will be able to play with each other sometime this year, which is a nice little feature. Other things they mentioned, all future DLCs will be leveled like Orsinium, so you'll be scaled up and anyone will be able to play the DLC, which just makes sense honestly, especially from a business standpoint. You want everyone to buy the DLC, so it really just makes sense. Text chat is coming to console, which is great because, right now they have that really cool system where you can talk to people around you, but some, chat for the whole zone would also be nice, so that's going to be coming to the console. Looking for guild system. Now this surprised me. They're going to introduce a system where you can find a guild. Maybe people can put their guilds out there, and then if you're looking for a guild that's like a role-playing guild and a certain amount of players, it'll bring up some matches and you can ask to join those guilds, which is a really nice feature, especially for console. They're going to fix the PvP problems, so if you guys don't play PvP, right now Serial is going through some issues with connection to the servers, some lag and things like that, so they're really working hard to get those fixed this year, earlier, rather than later. Another thing that's pretty exciting that they mentioned is a major change in how those world zones treat player levels. Now, not really sure what this is, it's kind of vague, but from my perspective, what I think it means is that maybe the base zones for the story, like if you think about the Rift or like Deshan or something like that, those aren't going to be leveled anymore, which basically would mean you could run around, Tamriel, and without facing any level issues, making it more like a traditional Elder Scrolls games, and less like a, theme park MMO, which would be pretty, interesting to see. It would definitely make exploration more fun, definitely, more exciting for new players, but it also means that I could visit a starter island and still have, things to kill that aren't way below my level. Now, that's just speculation, but again, they did say, quote, a major change in how the world zones will treat player levels is coming in 2016, so that's something to look forward to. So also coming this year is a change in, the veteran ranks. So your leveling experience 1 through 50 will be pretty much the same, but once you reach level 50, there will be no more veteran ranks. You're just going to gain experience, and that's going to go towards your champion points, kind of like how you earn champion points now. You're just not going to get veteran ranks. Now you're still going to gain skill points, and you're still going to get those skill points like you would in the veteran system, and you can still find them by finding sky shards. When you get 3 of them, you get a skill point. Now they're going to slowly raise the champion point cap over time when they add more DLCs, so you're always kind of progressing through the content. Right now the champion point cap is at 501, so again that'll be raised as they put new content in to the game. But one thing to keep in mind is that this is kind of nice, because if they kept increasing the veteran rank, you'd always be getting killed in PvP, and it was just kind of a really vertical system that didn't allow for much deviation. So it's nice that they're going to be a little bit more open about leveling now, and it's going to be a lot more fun for players who just hit level 50 and now they don't have to grind all the veteran ranks, which can kind of honestly be a chore. So now we have to get in the sad part of the video. These are things that were supposed to be coming to ESO that are no longer coming, unfortunately. But the good news is the list is kind of short. So starting off, this kind of hit home for me. There will be no bounty hunting system. There will be no PvP part of the justice system like they talked about previously. They said when you did a crime, you get a bounty and someone could kill you and claim that bounty. Unfortunately, that's no longer coming to the game just because of issues with balancing, and they didn't want PvP all over the PvE world, so that's no longer coming, and it sounds like it's never ever coming to ESO. Now, spellcrafting is something I was really looking forward to. That's also not coming this year. It's on the back burner, but it might come in the future. They're not ruling it out like the justice system, but it is going to be coming, sometime hopefully next year, but not in 2016. And the last thing I have for news for you guys is that ESO will be going to PAX East, PAX Prime, and Gamescom this year. So if you guys are looking forward to that, maybe you live near the area and you want to travel, you can go to those, and of course they'll have a booth and all that good stuff. So they are doing those this year, and you'll have more details when we get closer to those conferences. That's it for the news and the stuff coming in 2016. Let's turn our focus to the Crown Store items that were announced. So as always, I'll have pictures on the screen. I'll just read a description and tell you guys when you can get these. So first off, we have the Nord Hero armor. This costume lets you look like the Nord leader on all the promotional stuff. It has the really cool helmet, and you guys can now grab that on the Crown Store, and it's available January 28th through February 1st, so you have a small window to go ahead and pick one of those up. Next, we have the Sandkiss Salwar Ensemble. Sorry if I butchered that, but it's a female Alakir, piece of clothing. Kind of nice. You can see it on the screen. Next we have the Song of Night ensemble. That's really fancy Alakir clothing, maybe a little bit more upscale and high class. Next we have the Winter Scouts pack. Now that's kind of like Skyrim and Orcish medium armor. Looks really great. I might pick one of those up. And that's available now. You can go and grab that. We have the Markarth Bear Dog, which is from Skyrim. And it's kind of like this, big kind of wolfish looking dog. You can see a picture on the screen. And then last up we have Sanguine's Black Goat. I actually bought one of these. It's a goat that was made to take part in Daedric rituals, which I think is pretty funny. A lot of people were waiting for the goat for some reason. I did pick one up, and that's available right now, so you can pick it up whenever you want. So that pretty much does it for the episode, guys. I'll be doing more ESO Saturdays, of course, when we get more news, and maybe just some every once in a while talking about whatever I want to talk about. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to see more, make sure you hit the subscribe button. As always, guys, thanks for watching. It really does mean the world to me, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.